Some careers feel eternal, built on consistency, titles, and longevity. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played 20 seasons and for decades stood as the NBA's all-time scoring leader. That kind of greatness is measured in years, in records stacked over time, in statues outside arenas. But there's another kind of greatness, one that's harder to capture. That short, almost fleeting moment when a player reaches such an absurd level of dominance that it feels like the entire league bends around. Them. We're not talking about decades. We're talking about a single season. A stretch of months when there were no answers, when every opponent stepped on the court already knowing they were about to be overwhelmed. Shaquille O'Neal in 2000 is the perfect example. A mountain of muscle who made all-star centers look like high school kids, a force of nature that teams couldn't contain no matter how many bodies they threw at him. Or Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2021 carrying the weight of 2 years of playoff heartbreak, mocked as someone who couldn't win when it mattered most. And yet, in the defining moment, he dropped 50 points in a finals closeout game. A performance of redemption that turned Milwaukee into believers forever. These peaks aren't just stats in a box score. They are living memories burned into the minds of anyone who watched. But what truly defines a peak season? Can advanced numbers really explain the inevitability Michael Jordan gave off every time? He laced them up. Or the fear in defenders' eyes who knew, no matter how well they played, they couldn't stop Kobe Bryant from breaking their will. And how do we compare eras where the rules of the game were completely different? Hand checking in the 90s, spacing in the 2010s. Zone defenses legalized in the 2000s, each player dominated within a unique context, and that's what makes this debate so fascinating. This video isn't just about lists, stats, or trophies. It's about moments that redefined what it means to be unstoppable. It's about how dominance feels, not just what it looks like on paper. Career versus peak, the hidden difference. Longevity has always been the safe argument in basketball debates. Players like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Tim Duncan, and LeBron James have careers that stretch across generations, surviving injuries, rule changes, and new waves of talent. That's what we call a great career. Durability, consistency, an endless resume that forces you to respect it. But a career, no. Matter how decorated doesn't always show us the rawest form of dominance. To see that, you need to look at the peaks. Shaq in 2000 wasn't just great, he was inevitable. Every possession ran through him because there was no other choice. Teams fouled him before he even caught the ball. Entire game plans were designed to minimize the damage, not to stop it, because stopping it was impossible. That's not longevity. That's a peak so high, it blocks out the sun. Giannis in 2021 had his own peak moment. After years of falling short, labeled as a regular season player, he entered the finals under more pressure than anyone in recent memory. And in Game 6 with a championship on the line, he delivered 50 points on a leg that many thought was too injured to hold up. That wasn't just dominance, that was defiance, a rewriting of narrative in real time. This is where recency bias plays tricks. Derrick Rose's 2011 MVP feels smaller now after injury stalled what could have been. Dwight Howard's 2011 run to the finals is often dismissed because of how his career ended. But in the moment, those peaks were terrifying, unforgettable, and real. A great career earns respect. An unstoppable peak earns all, the statistical. Language of dominance. Numbers don't lie, but they don't always tell the full truth either. The NBA has created advanced stats to help us measure dominance, but the challenge is translating them into something fans can feel. PER, or player efficiency rating, sums up all the box score contributions into a single number. League average is 15. Shaq in 2000 posted a PER of 30.6. Giannis in 2021, 29.2. Those aren't just numbers. They're statistical earthquakes. BPM, box plus minus, measures a player's impact compared to the average. Nikola Jokic in 2023 posted one of the highest playoff BPMs ever recorded, showing his influence on every single possession. WS48, win shares per 48 minutes, tells us how much a player contributes to winning every minute they're on the floor. And EPM, a newer stat, blends box score data with player tracking to give us an even sharper picture of who's truly controlling games. But even the numbers can mislead. Wilt Chamberlain scored 50 points per game in 1962, a stat that looks untouchable. Yet when you account for pace, efficiency, and context, the story shifts. He was dominant, yes, but not in the same way as Jordan in 91 or Jokic in 23. The real marker of dominance is solving the efficiency and usage paradox. Most players get worse the more responsibility they take, but Michael Jordan in his prime? He carried massive scoring loads without losing efficiency. Jokic today? Same story. That balance, volume, and efficiency together is the statistical fingerprint of an unstoppable peak. The psychology of fear. Numbers can capture production. They can't capture fear. And fear is a weapon just as sharp as any crossover or fadeaway. Shaq's dominance wasn't just physical, it was psychological. Coaches admitted to changing their rotations, playing their backup bigs early just to use fouls on him. Opponents fouled him on purpose, not to stop him from scoring, but to prevent the humiliation of being dunked on. That's fear. Michael Jordan's. Intimidation came in silence. Players tell stories of MJ locking eyes with them, and in that moment, they knew they were already beaten. Jordan didn't just score on you, he made you question your own game. Kobe Bryant's weapon was relentlessness. He would play through injury, through shooting slumps, through criticism. His refusal to stop attacking wore opponents down. Defenders knew that no matter how many misses came before, Kobe's next shot was coming, and it might be the dagger. Sports. Psychologists describe cortisol, the stress hormone, rising in situations that feel unwinnable. Facing Jordan, Shaq, or Kobe at their peaks was like starting a race already 10 steps behind. Dominance isn't only about production, it's about the aura of inevitability, the rulebook factor. Every peak exists within its own rulebook. And the NBA has never stopped changing the rules that define how dominance looks. In the 1990s, hand-checking allowed defenders to steer ball handlers with their hands. That was the world Michael Jordan conquered, slicing through contact, earning every basket against defenses that could physically slow you down. By the mid-2000s, the league banned hand-checking, and suddenly guards had more freedom. That's the world Steph Curry stepped into, pulling up from 30 feet with defenders forced to guard him in space. His 2016 peak doesn't happen in the 90s. It happens because the league opened the floor. In 2002, zone defenses were legalized, ending the days when teams were forced into strict one-on-one coverage. Shaq still dominated through it, forcing triple teams that left shooters open. Dwight Howard struggled in this environment, while Jokic thrives, his passing vision dismantling any defensive scheme. Even the defensive 3-second rule, forcing big men out of the paint, changed how slashers like LeBron and Giannis attacked. At the rim, no peak happens in a vacuum. The game shapes the dominance just as the player shapes the game. Case study, set the greatest peaks. Now comes the toughest question. Who had the greatest peak in NBA history? Michael Jordan in 1991 combined. Elite scoring with elite defense, and finally broke through for his first championship. It wasn't just numbers, it was the arrival of a dynasty. Shaquille O'Neal in 2000 put up numbers that barely fit in a box score. 29 points, 13 rebounds, 3 blocks per game, while crushing the league's best centers and making an NBA title feel inevitable. LeBron James in 2013 might have been the most complete player we've ever seen. 27 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists on 56% shooting, while nearly winning Defensive Player of the Year. He was a one-man system. Stephen Curry in 2016 revolutionized the game, averaging 30 points per game while shooting 50% from the field, 45% from 3, and 90% from the line. He became the first unanimous MVP in history. His peak wasn't just statistical, it was cultural. He changed how basketball is played. Giannis in 2021 may not have the longest resume, but his finals performance alone, capped with 50 points in a closeout, stands as one of the greatest single-game peaks the NBA has ever seen. Nikola Jokic in 2023 redefined what a center could be, averaging a near triple-double in the playoffs and carrying Denver to its first ever championship. His efficiency, vision, and control made it feel like he was orchestrating the entire league. Each peak tells a different story. Jordan's killer instinct, Shaq's intimidation, LeBron's perfection, Curry's revolution, Giannis's redemption, Jokic's reinvention. To crown just one is almost impossible. Maybe the truth is that dominance isn't a single definition. It's a spectrum shaped by era, rules, and what it felt like to watch. A great career builds respect. An unstoppable peak builds myth, fans. Still argue about it to this day, and maybe that's the point. Dominance isn't just about stats, rings, or trophies. It's about memory, about the fear, the awe, and the joy of watching someone at their absolute best. Because in the end, what we remember most aren't the resumes, but the moments when a player made us believe, if only for one season, that he was truly unstoppable.